Welcome to Optimal Timelines. My name is Sean, and this is going to be your April 2025 tarot readings for your North Node by sign and house. Now, if you're new to my channel, the reason I use the North Node in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign is that it's recognized in astrology your North Node is your North Star. It's what you're here to learn, accomplish, and master in this lifetime. So it's much more relevant to your everyday life and much more accurate in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. Now remember, you're going to want to watch two readings, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now before we begin the readings, the big story this month is the planet Neptune coming into Aries for the first time in 168 years. Neptune is beginning its new cycle. And with everything that's, happened the last 168 years, the Civil War, the American Civil War started in that year. I want to take this from a positive standpoint. I think if each of us look back on the last 168 years, yes, there have been some really challenging things that have happened, some awful things that have happened, but there have also been some great things that have happened. And I think if we're being completely honest, when we look back on the last 168 years, humanity is better than it was. We're far from perfect, but we've made a lot of progress forward. So for me, this new beginning is about progress. We're going to change what needs to be changed, but we're going to continue moving on, and we're not going to get hung up and let ourselves get bogged down by the negative. Anyway, with that, we're going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides, guardians, and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see and hear this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, North Node in Aries and or the first house. Okay, very interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed Knight of Wands. Now, the wands, all the wands cards are referring to the fire signs, so Aries being among them. But one of the things that the knights show is they're cards of movement. When you think of a knight, one of the things that this has kind of hit me is, you think of a knight being on a quest or having a mission. Okay, that's like some of the lore of knighthood. And what I'm thinking that is happening for a lot of you North Nodes in Aries is, as the planet Neptune is coming in to Aries on the 30th of March here, and will be there for 14 years, each of you have an opportunity to find your personal quest, your personal mission. How are you going to reflect your North Node in Aries? How are you individually going to do that? And I think that what you're discovering is, and there's things that are hidden from a lot of you, you're going to be discovering not only what it is you're here to do, which is follow your North Node, but how you're going to do it. Because the energy of the planet Neptune, which is about higher ideals and the kind of like moving spirit into the physical, I think that you're going to find what your individual quest is, and that's what's happening. So I think you're going to begin to feel this as we, are in Aries season here in April 2025. Now let's look at your timeline cards. So you've got the Moon card upright, you've got the Nine of Wands reversed, and you've got the Sun card upright. Now, we'll start with the Sun card. This card, for me, is relating to this Knight of Wands reversed. All of the cards that have horses, that are depicted with horses, are cards of movement, including the Sun card here. Now, the thing about the difference between the Sun card of this like childlike figure on top of this horse, as opposed to the Knight, is it's getting back to the core of who you are at your very core, like our nature that we were born with. And I think that's one of the things that is part of this process of finding your quest, is getting to the core of who you are. Even though you share your North Node with a lot of other humans on Earth that have their North Node, each of you has a slightly different quest, as I was saying, and the way you're going to reflect your quest and what you're supposed to do as a North Node in Aries or the first house. And so it's getting back to your essence. Now, this is a beautiful card to end with, but in order to get to that point, you know, you have the moon here, and then you've got the Nine of Wands right above it. So the moon card is that part of your path for most of you is still being revealed to you. It's like it's still hidden from you. It's like things that are happening at night are things that don't have the light of day shining on them, and that we don't understand things fully. And that's, again, the Sun card. So things are going to come to light for you, especially starting this month. But the thing is, you have to listen to that. You have to listen to what is being presented to you in dreams, through other means, other people, things you read, things you hear, just from your own internal self. So what is being hidden from you is this Nine of Wands reversed. This is about learning from our past, learning from things that have happened to us. Do we truly learn from them? And that is the big key for you in all of this, is like taking a different road. So the Nine of Wands is showing like, okay, I've been through all of these things. I've got a bandage around my head. I've been through all of these different, battles. I've tried different things. Have we found what hasn't worked? And if we have found what hasn't worked, not to repeat what hasn't worked, to try something new. And I think that that's still something that is going to be discovered by you, is this, new avenues or new ways that you can go in your life. Now, to get even a little bit more clarity, we'll look at your advice cards. So you've got the Three of Pentacles upright, and you've got the Hanged Man upright. So again, we're talking about perspective here with the Hanged Man. We're talking about that, you have to come to the realization of seeing things in a new way in your life. And that's about learning from everything that you've gone through. And when we learn, one of the hangups that I see with this North Node is, because of your South Node in the 7th house or Libra, is we can beat ourselves up and get hung up on the things that haven't worked in our life. Like, we can just sit there and ponder like, well, like, why did this happen? Why did I choose that person? Why did that person do this to me? Why did whatever, we could get hung up on that, right? And so what we need to do is not contemplate that, but see things in a new way. Just put all that aside and get this new perspective. Now, the interesting thing about this Three of Pentacles is, normally when this card comes up for, in a reading for an individual, I say that the person is this person who's the crafts person, and they're being watched by other people or another person. Like, this is them, the crafts person. But when I saw this, what really hit me, and this is very rare, but this is referring to you, the people that are observing the crafts person, right? What do I mean by that? I think that what's happening is there are examples in your life where you can look to help find your quest. Like, for example, let's say, okay, you know that you're trying to move into the energy of the North Node of Aries and or the first house, right? Which is being bold, being courageous, moving forward, to the ability to be seen, and to move forward in a certain direction in life, to set boundaries and whatnot. So I feel like there are examples around each of you that you can learn from. Not necessarily even physical people in your life, but that could be that. But I'm talking about even fictional characters that we can learn from. Like, you could think of a lot of different characters that would be North Node in Aries, where someone says, you know, I'm going to change and I'm going to evolve and I'm going to be more courageous. I'm going to make myself and my needs more important. I'm going to stand up for not only myself, but for other people that can't stand up for themselves. All the things that that North Node in Aries is. And I think that what's happening is this first half of April is going to be the beginning of you having the ability to see examples of how you can do your personal quest for your North Node. And there's going to be examples that are going to come from, as I said, fictional characters, movies, books, autobiographies, you know, biographies of people. And I think that when you start to think about it, you're going to start to look at who is an example, who is embodying this energy. And I feel like it's going to be shown to you, and that's what's going to help you to kind of bring things to light and put you on this new direction. But all of you are going to experience positive moves forward. You're each at different levels, but all of you are going to start to feel this positive energy coming in and moving you in a different direction. The opportunity here is to take that and kind of get on your horse and ride with it. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Taurus and or the second house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the High Priestess card. Now, this is one of the cards that I always see come up for you North Nodes in Taurus and or the second house, because for me, it's referring to your South Node in Scorpio and or the 8th house, which is about, you know, Scorpio in the 8th house. One of the things it's about is about our personal power, and how we are our power, and how it interacts with other people in the world and in other situations. I feel like this has been coming up a lot for you North Nodes in Taurus or the second house, where you're able to tap into the best qualities of your South Node, okay? Because our South Node has really positive aspects to it. It has, you know, aspects that are gifts too, right? But they have to be used sparingly. So I think that's going to come into play this first half of April. Now we'll look at your timeline cards to get some more clarity. We have the 10 of Cups reversed. We've got the Hanged Man reversed, and we've got the Emperor reversed. So what I'm seeing is that there's a big issue that's happening for you North Nodes in Taurus or the second house that's about emotional fulfillment, or kind of lack thereof. Lack thereof. It's been this kind of ongoing theme of like being able to extract the most emotional fulfillment from life, and it seems like there could be this like lacking of that, in your life. And it's been this ongoing thing, as I said. The reason that this is happening and where it's coming from is I think it's coming from certain authority figures in your life. Now, let me clarify. So the two cards you have here is you have the Hanged Man reversed, and you've got the Emperor reversed. So the Hanged Man reversed is about there's something that you're not seeing within relationship dynamics in your life. It's something that you don't see or have the proper perspective on. You have to look at it in a new way. Now, here's what I mean by authority figures. The Emperor can mean a lot of things, okay? It can mean like, parental authority figures. It can mean bosses. It can mean, governmental, figures, in our life. Lots of different things, even like, teachers and professors and whatnot. But one of the things that it also represents is people that are very, very important in our life, like in romantic partnerships, okay? The reason I say that they are authority figures is it's not that they are over us in authority. It's that we place them at such a high level in our life. We make them authorities, people that we are very close to, like we are authority figures for them and they are authority figures for us, because we place them in such high importance. So for some of you, it can be some other outside authority figures, like, bosses, supervisors, parental figures, and so on. But for a lot of you, it could be people that you are in partnerships with, okay? And there's something that you're not seeing within these partnerships that could be not allowing you to have as much emotional fulfillment as you could have. So it's something you're not seeing. So what you have to do is you need to find new ways to look at your partnerships and these relationships in your life. New ways of looking at it, because it's like almost like it could be like this looping pattern that I'm kind of feeling for you, where it's like, let's say there's someone that we've known in our life and they are one of our authority figures, whatever they are, right? Whoever they are. We could get in this pattern of just like we're going back and forth and not really making any sort of progress. And I feel like that's what a lot of this is. The only way out of it is to first see something in a different way and then take a different action, which I think a lot of you are kind of learning to do. Now, let's look at the advice cards you have here. So you've got the Queen of Pentacles and you've got the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So within this situation, for a lot of you, there could be something that is of a financial nature, okay? Like, money, finances, funds, could even be like, for some of you, if it's an authority figure like a boss, like raises, things like that, okay? Things of value, okay? Because you have 2 pentacle cards here. But even on an emotional level, there's something to where, this Ace of Pentacles is saying it's like you could be giving too much or feeding too much into one of these relationships in your life. Like, and it's not giving you the return that you feel you should have. It's like when there's an imbalance in stuff that we give in our life to other people and situations, when one person gives too much and they're not getting enough back, it creates this imbalance, which I feel can be this kind of, mar on your emotional fulfillment and not like getting as much, emotional fulfillment as you could. So there's this imbalance. Where is it that you are kind of, and I feel like for most of you, it's giving too much, putting too much into it, maybe like holding back a little bit. And that's what this Queen of Pentacles is saying. This Queen of Pentacles is referring to your North Node in Taurus and or the 2nd house, where the Queen here is holding the Pentacles close to her. She seems to be more relaxed. She seems to be happier. And she has the pentacle to give when she needs to, but there's not an imbalance in what she's giving. She gives when she feels like she needs to, but knows when not to give. Okay, so she's holding that kind of close to her. Now, as I said, this could be things of value of our time, our love, actual money and finances. Okay, for each of you, it's going to be different. It could be multiple things that are referring to pentacles. But essentially, it's what you're putting into something, what you are giving, and learning that kind of balance. Now, when you're able to balance out and balance what you're giving as opposed to what you're getting, that is stepping into your North Node power of independence. Essentially what you're learning, the big picture is, you're learning that your happiness and well-being are not directly tied to or reflected to those around you. This is what true independence is. It doesn't mean that you don't love people and need and want people in your life, but you don't need those people to make you happy. Your independence from that relationship, that situation, that job, whatever it is, you can find your happiness above and beyond that. And then all of those emotional connections that we have with others in different situations, we find that we are creating our own happiness. That's true independence, right? And so, yeah, that's how this is playing out. So find ways to where you can stand in your power, because I feel like this is about your personal power. This is the time to flex your power. And when you do that, I think that you're going to find that this whole situation of emotional fulfillment not bubbling up in your life, you're going to find that that's going to, clear any blockages in that direction. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your astrological chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Gemini and or the third house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Page of Cups reversed. And when I saw this card, I was thinking that what's happening right now for the first half of April is that you're learning about getting a little bit more emotionally flexible and emotionally playful. Like those two words, flexible and playful, came up. That's one of the things that the pages can be, in addition to messages. And I think that this ultimately has to do with communication in your life, but it's like that's one of the things when you think of like your North Node in Gemini or the third house. There is this element of kind of playfulness that comes into play. Part of your path is that, especially when it comes to emotions and communications. Let's look at your timeline cards. We'll get some more clarity on this. So you've got the Eight of Wands reversed. You've got the Queen of Swords reversed, and you've got the Hanged Man upright. So we'll start here with the Queen of Swords. All of the court cards, the king, queen, knights, and pages, can be actual people in our life, or they can be energies. In this case, I feel like this is referring to a person or a situation in your life. And this person, I think that what they're doing is that they could be difficult, okay? There could be something where there is like this kind of emotional disconnect between you two, like you're not on the same page mentally or emotionally. But I feel like this person is someone that you can't just kind of blow off or like leave because there's some sort of ties, like there's people that we run into in our life too that don't, kind of mean very much, and we're not really on the same page, and we're like, okay, I don't really need to deal with you. But when they're people that, we work closely with, or in our own family, or we're in relationships with, or whatever it is, that's what I'm talking about, where we just can't like walk away. And so it's something that I feel like you've been dealing with for a while. So it's a difficult person. I feel like, as I said, mentally and emotionally, communication wise, you're not on the same page. Now, I feel like this month, especially the first half of April, this Eight of Wands is saying there's going to be a change of direction for you regarding this person and or situation, where you're going to see a way out, or like a new way of being. It's almost like I feel like a lot of you are kind of maybe tired or frustrated or with dealing with it. But what's going to happen is with this this Hanged Man is you are just going to see things in a new way. It's almost like, and this has to do with your North Node, being emotionally and mentally flexible. Okay, that is the key word for North Nodes in Gemini under the third house, right? Ruled by the planet Mercury. It's flexibility emotionally and mentally, and really using that to your advantage. So I feel like there's going to be something that's going to occur to you, a new way to deal with this person and or situation. So that's what's going to give this kind of new perspective, like an aha moment, like, let me try this out. I've tried everything else with this person, and I know that I have to deal with this situation in this person. So let me try something new. And I feel like that's what's going to occur to you. Now, your advice cards are, you've got the Strength card upright, and you've got the King of Wands reversed. So starting with the Strength card, one of the things that this idea is going to give you as far as this new way of dealing with this person is almost like, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of like compassion that comes in from your standpoint. Like, you know, you're dealing with, like, you see the maiden here dealing with this like ferocious lion, but she's able to, through her gentleness and understanding, subdue this lion. She's not doing it through force, but she's doing it through other means, through being clever, making sure that, she is communicating the right thing. So she's not doing it through physical force, whether that be through, communication or anything else. And so that's what you're going to learn with this person, is you're going to learn that it's almost going to give you a feeling of, like when we see someone like this in our life, and it's almost like when you take the higher ground, you do kind of, in a way, like feel superior, like you rise above it. There is times in our life when we might be embroiled in something and having to deal with a situation or a person. And when we're able to take the higher road and rise above it, it does kind of make us feel like we're superior, in our life. And that's a good thing for you, because you're seeing the benefit of that. It's just like you can see the maiden here is in complete control of this ferocious lion. So it's strength of will, it's strength of mind, strength of emotions, but the strength is coming from taking a different route and being intelligent about things in the way that you're handling things. Okay. Now this King of Wands reversed is saying that one of the things you have to keep in mind is this could be a trigger point. So this person, I feel, in this situation, has triggered you in the past, and that is the only thing you have to be, wary of, because for some reason it brings up, the King of Wands reversed could be a king that is of ill temper. Okay, someone that has, the ability to show their anger, right? And I feel like this is like the caution for you, is not to let this person or situation trigger you. Now, if you find in this situation, if you find yourself getting triggered, that is simply a signal, like back off, rethink things, look at things from a different perspective, be emotionally and mentally flexible, okay? And even playful. That word comes in, being playful. Like sometimes we get to a situations in life, in life where you just kind of laugh at it in a way. Like, I think hopefully we've all experienced that at some point, where you look at it, even if it's maybe something that's happened in the past, and you look back and you kind of chuckle, even though it might have been super serious at the time. But we also do that with things that are going on in our life, like right now, where all of a sudden you get like a new perspective and you're just like, this is really silly, and it's like that kind of playfulness comes in. I feel like that's what this is. When you kind of are able to kind of rise above it, you get this whole idea of like, wow, like this whole thing was really ridiculous and really silly. And so when you step out of that whole like energy, you step into this kind of new energy. And like I said, it is like kind of rising above the situation. And so, you should feel better about yourself and your life, and you should feel superior, because every time we take the higher road, we should be rewarded for it. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you would like your astrological chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. Okay, wow, really interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the 6 of Pentacles. And when I saw this card, it was telling me that this first half of April, there's going to be an opportunity or even multiple opportunities in your life to really flex that, Cancer fourth house, heart-centered energy in a way where I feel like it's all about this first half of April, about you having the ability and the opportunity to help a person or multiple people around you. Now, yes, this is a card of like, giving and charity, but we're not only talking about like, physical things, monetary giving. We're talking about giving of our time, of our care, of our emotions. All of those things are things that we give in life. And I feel like there's definitely going to be like at least a person or multiple people, as I said, that need you, that need that. And this is an opportunity, as I said, for you to flex that, to really open up your heart and emotions to someone or some people around you, in your life. Let's get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline cards. So you've got the Five of Cups upright. You've got the Eight of Swords upright, and you've got the Five of Pentacles. So we're going to cover all of these at the same time. So starting with the Five of Cups here, part of the thing that's happening is this person or people, and I feel like for most of you, it's probably going to be on an individual basis. So if it's multiple people, it's going to be, one at a time, okay? But it could be, two people that you're helping, okay? But they need to see, there's something that they're emotionally distraught and they need your help. They can use your help. There's something that you can do to help them. If it's a kind word or a kind deed or something to that effect, but they're emotionally distraught. Also that, this Eight of Swords is they don't see a way out for themselves. Okay. So someone might open up to you and they might say, there could be a person right now that you're dealing with where or you get the feeling like they feel like they're stuck somehow, like they're stuck mentally and emotionally in a situation and they could open up to you, or you might hear about that. And one of the things about your North Node is when you begin to feel things in your heart, like when you're not helping someone out of just obligation, but when you actually feel it, like you feel compassion in your heart to where you want to help. So maybe you hear someone that is in some sort of need, right? And you offer that to somebody. You're offering that help not because you're trying to get, plus points with the universe, or you're doing it out of obligation, but because you truly feel it in your heart, okay? I feel like that's what's coming into play here. And then this Five of Pentacles is saying that the person that I'm talking about, or the people, they don't feel like there's anywhere that they have to turn. Like you can be a refuge for somebody in your life. You can be a person that is just, even if it's momentarily, that warm refuge where you can offer a kind word or offer something that can help another human being, okay, or human beings. And that's what this card is signifying, that, sometimes people don't see the help or don't want to take advantage of the help, around them. And you're like this, glowing window where when you're opening the door into something to help, another human being. But as I said, the key here is to make sure that you're doing it and you feel it in your heart. When you start to kind of, just feel it, you're going to know you're on your right path. Now, I'll share something, personally with you, because this just popped into my mind. I am a North Node in Cancer. Okay. So my South Node's in Capricorn. And a lot of times when we have a South Node in Capricorn, okay, it's not that we are callous on purpose, that we can be callous. It's just that it's not in our nature because, Capricorn is the sign of, strength and security and putting on armor and like being tough. But it is like a callus in the sense that when we are tough through our past lives, we naturally don't have that touchy-feely heart energy, okay? So like when I was younger, I remember when I first began to, I was in my like mid-20s, and this is how random it can happen. I'm in my mid-20s, I'm, working, I have a young family, and I'm sitting in my car at a stoplight, and I glance over to the person in the car next to me, the driver, and I see them sitting there and eating this like sandwich, like piece of food, like eating it like they're just needing, they were super hungry, and they were just at this light, like kind of feeding themselves frantically. And something really weird happened. All of a sudden I felt this like compassion. Like I didn't just look at them like there's some person scarfing down a sandwich, but they're like another human being who is just trying to get some sustenance. It really like opened my heart. It was the first time, and it sounds really weird, but it opened my heart, and I began to like see them. I saw them differently than I normally would. I wasn't like laughing like, look at this person just stuffing their face at a stoplight, but they became this person who's just like, they're like me. I mean, they're living their life. They have feelings. They have all the struggles that I go through too. And they, and they're just hungry. They're just trying to, who knows if they were on their way back to work from their lunch break, and they didn't want to be late. But anyway, it really was the first time that, it affected me. And so, one of the things about this path, what I'm saying is that it's a period of gradually the heart opening, gradually more and more and more. And for a lot of people that have this North Node, it can feel uncomfortable because you start to get all touchy-feely, right? And it can be like you don't feel in control of things, right? So that's what I'm feeling, is there's an opportunity for you this beginning half of April to kind of share these emotional gifts with people, okay, and take it as a huge opportunity. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Eight of Wands reversed, and you've got the Two of Pentacles. So what this is saying is, I feel like a lot of you are going to have these turning point moments. For each of you, it'll be different. That's what the Eight of Wands is. It can be stopping, or in this case, this is a change of direction. This can be a huge positive change of direction if you allow it to be. So really look for opportunities where it doesn't even have to be anything really big, but just where can you offer, where can you be of comfort to people in the world? Like, that's what you're here to do. Is, yes, we have to take care of business, we have to take care of our families, we have things to do. We can't change the world necessarily on the whole, but what can we do on an individual basis just to make the world a better place? That's what this is saying. And then this Two of Pentacles is saying, what is going to happen with this is that not only is it helping to balance something out within you, but I feel like some of the things that you may feel are lacking in your life, even from a physical nature, could come back to you, because there is such a thing as, like positive karma. And it's not that you're doing it from a standpoint of feeling it in your heart. But I can tell you that there are benefits that will come directly to your life by working on this balancing. And some of those benefits could come in a very physical way down the line, in a very positive way. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Leo and or the 5th house. Interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Four of Wands. And what I feel like for you North Nodes in Leo or the fifth house is, one of the things about this card is it's a card of celebration, and I really feel like that's what this is talking about. One of the key things for North Nodes in Leos to understand, or Leos in the fifth house, North Nodes in the fifth house, is that it really helps them to view their life like a celebration or in a very playful way, like a game. Okay, and it sounds really weird. Like you might be listening to this, and you have this North Node, and you're like, there's nothing to play about in my life, all right? But it's really true, because the fifth house rules like games and sports and playfulness and, even like children, right? And, Leo is that, like, being passionate about life. Like, what I mean by playing could be like people that are creative and they're artists and they make their living or giving their art to the world. That could be in, music or whatever. But viewing your life from that standpoint. And it can be difficult to do, but we'll explain a little bit more like how to kind of do that. But I feel like there's this opportunity for you to really begin to look at your life more like a celebration. It's like a story that's unfolding, and you are the main character. What is the main character going to do in this story? Are they going to win? Are they not going to win? What direction are they going to take? And that's what I mean by, playfulness and looking at life like this, like celebration. What are you going to do with it? Now, your timeline cards, you've got the Five of Pentacles upright. You've got the Four of Pentacles reversed. And you've got the Ten of Pentacles upright. Okay, so a lot of pentacles going on here. Now, yes, pentacles can be money, finances, property, things of value, and all of that, but also other things of value like our time, our health, our loved ones, the life that we have. Okay, anything of value, in our life. So for each of you, it'll be different. But I'm thinking more like this is talking about things of value beyond just the physical. What is happening right now is that I think the universe is trying to open a lot of you up more, open you up to releasing things that you're holding on to. And that's what this Four of Pentacles reversed is saying. You can see that this person is just like, they're very much holding on to things that they feel like they need to hold on to. But there's times to hold on to things in our life, and there's times to let go. And what needs to be let go is like old ways of being. The reason that's difficult is down with this Five of Pentacles here. What you don't understand is that there is help around you. There is always help around you, but you might not be seeing it because it could feel like, one of the things about this North Node is they can go through things where it feels like the rug throughout their whole life, it's constantly being pulled out from under them. Like, for example, they think that they're in a certain job, and then all of a sudden the job changes or moves, or, the rug's pulled out, or they're in a certain relationship or whatever, and the rug's pulled out. So it could just feel like this constant rug pulling out. And the more that happens, it could feel like, why is this happening? Why don't people have my back? Why doesn't the universe have my back? When really what it is it's to get you to move into that Leo power, to be seen, for you to flex your gifts into the world, to flex what you have to offer, not to just like hide in safe zones, And that's why, if you felt like throughout your whole life, it's like you get somewhere and the rug's pulled out, same thing. If you see those patterns, it's because it's getting you to move out. And when you do that, when you are able to move out, and you move into a better place, and that's what this Ten of Pentacles is saying, is you get not only the security that you're desiring, but you get more security than you thought that you would ever have. You get this abundance, and that's what this Ten of Pentacles. You're creating essentially your legacy in this world, which is about going from where you are now to being more, okay? And the thing that that is hidden from a lot of people that have this North Node is they don't understand that they have so much internally to give to the world. That's half the battle, is discovering what that is. But it will come out in different ways when you allow yourself to approach life in a more way that's celebratory, and also celebrating life, celebrating your gifts, thinking of life like it's a game. Okay, like, where do I want to go from here? I might have issues, I might have problems right now, but how can I solve them? Okay, it's like the game puzzle. Okay, how can I solve this? Because I need to do something. So in the act of making solving the issues part of the game and celebrating the gifts you have, that's what gets you out into this kind of new way and new mode of being. Now, I was talking about recognizing that help that's around you. This is also being shown with your advice card. So you've got the Judgment card, and you've got the Temperance card, okay, upright. So Judgment is about, messages being sent to you. I feel like a lot of you Leos that I've noticed over the past year or so have been getting very, very strong messages of things you need to change, directions you need to go to, messages from the universe, okay? This is about awakening from one way of being, one mental state, one emotional state, into a new way of being. And so I think if you think back, this is going to continue to happen. These messages are going to keep coming in. How do they come in? They could come in through dreams. They could come in through just like thoughts and things that occur to you. It could come in from things you're reading, things you're watching, the things you're listening to, even from other people, right? And you need to understand that is the help that's being here. Like, maybe it occurs to you that you should move in a different direction in your life, and I'm going to go for that new job, or I'm going to go back to school. But then you begin to have doubts because it's a scary thing to do. But you're getting these inklings of what you need to do from the universe. You just have to pay attention and then act on them. And then that's what this Temperance is saying, is what this is doing is when we temper something or we refine, you could say it's like refining. One of the things that's happening in your life is, I want you to understand that because your ruling planet is the sun, okay, it epitomizes the tempering or the purifying of gold, like in alchemy. Literally, you have gold within you. So think of yourself like this lumps of rock that has gold ore. It's just like it's stuck in a mountain, okay? That gold has to get out and be refined, but it's in you. It's not apparent when you look at a mountain that has gold in it, like from the outside. It just looks like a bunch of rocks and trees and everything. But hidden within that mountain is gold. So the gold has to be extracted. That's one of your jobs. And then it has to be refined. So the gold in you is your gifts and talents. You have something to give to the world. It doesn't mean you have to be the next big CEO or a multi-millionaire, billionaire. It doesn't mean that. Your gifts might just be being the best, parent you can be, or just starting that small business, or whatever it is. But whatever, you have something to offer. Every Leo, North Node or North Node in the 5th house has something to give. So it's about finding that gold and then refining it. Once you find it, and then it's about refining it. That's the process a lot of you, some of you have already found your gold and you're in the process of refining it. Some still need to find it, but then ultimately when you find it, it's about refining it. So let's say you finally decide you have some sort of a gift or talent that you're going to give to the world. You finally decide that, I'm going to do this, right? So now you're stepping out into your power, and you found that, and now it's a matter of refining it, just doing it. It's not maybe going to happen overnight, but trust me, when you begin to go and use those gifts inside you, and you go for it, you will be rewarded, and you'll see that you can get out of that kind of stuck energy that maybe some of you feel. Part of this, as I said, getting back to, think of life as being playful, think of it as a celebration, and remember where you're headed toward, which is the greatest, body in our whole solar system is the sun. And that's where what you're here to do. You're here to shine. Okay. And that's what you have to remember. That is what you're here to do. Let that sunshine come through. Let those gifts come through. When you do that, it's going to be a game changer. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value. And I thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Virgo and or the 6th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the World card reversed. Now, the World card is one of these cards where when it's reversed, it's still positive, but it's like a delay. I feel like a lot of you are on the kind of edge of making like huge breakthroughs, that you're seeing that where you've come from in your life, and you can see a positive future. You might not quite be there yet, but a lot of you are either like seeing it or feeling it, that you can move toward that. Okay, because the World card, when it's reversed, always wants to turn upright. One of the reasons I say this is because even though the collective North Node right now is in Pisces and the South Node is in Virgo, whenever the collective North Node is either in our South Node or our North Node, we're getting activated. Okay, so a lot of you Virgo North Nodes are getting activated. But particularly what you're going to be activated is the positive aspects of your South Node. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. Because the collective North Node is in Pisces, the positive aspects of your South Node can come to help you. That's what you're learning right now. Now we'll look at these timeline cards to get some more clarity. We've got the 4 of Swords upright. We've got the 4 of Pentacles reversed, and then we've got the 10 of Pentacles. So how is the North Node in Pisces helping your South Node in Pisces? Okay, how it's helping you is you're learning to use those gifts that you naturally have in your South Node Pisces or 12th house South Node. And one of the things that wants to happen is contemplating your life and using the gifts of understanding. Like a lot of you South Nodes of Pisces, you have these insights that come deep from within you. It has to do with a lot of the experiences you've had in past lives. Now, the South Node in Pisces can be a very difficult placement, but there's a lot of wisdom there, and it comes through experience. And that experience comes to you in moments of stillness, like it comes and it occurs to you. And I feel like that's something that is helping you. How it's going to help you is tap into the qualities of your spiritual qualities. It could be like, just a lot of you walk around and you're in a natural state of meditation. Others of you tap into it when you need to, but that is a huge gift because it gives you the ability to tap into this inner wisdom. And that's really what this card is saying. This inner wisdom that can momentarily quiet the mind down and tap into the core of like who you are. Now, this 4 of Pentacles reversed is saying that a lot of stuck things are coming out of you. And this again has to do with the positive aspects of this Pisces South Node, okay? because of this, the North Node in Pisces that's in the collective, your South Node, as I said, is helping you to release past traumas. It's helping you to release things that were keeping you once stuck. So not only are you tapping into the gifts there, but I feel like there's this releasing going on. And I think some of you can have felt it, especially through this last eclipse season that we had through March. You're going to be feeling this kind of like releasing things. And it's very, very powerful, because a lot of you at the end of it are just going to feel like a little bit lighter, like things are, like burdens are going to be lifted more, okay? It can be uncomfortable as we release, but I think that after it's all said and done, even though there's might be a slight uncomfortableness going through it, you're going to feel just kind of better. Now, this 10 of Pentacles, where this is headed for you is you're headed to a place of more stability. Okay, ultimately what this is teaching you, this is a place of feeling like you have a place in the world. Okay, that's where most of you are headed. Like, you have a place where you belong. It's like a traveler who finally, finds their village or their people, or someone who finally finds where they belong, essentially. That the sense of belonging is where you're headed in this lifetime. Like, okay, I'm good here, Some of you may have already found that, okay, and you're enjoying that, and you're just continuing to refine yourself and refine that Virgo North Node or North Node in the 6th house. But a lot of you that are watching this will find that ultimately where it's headed for you is this place and sense of belonging, which is just a beautiful thing. Now, your advice cards are, you've got the 6 of Pentacles upright, and you've got the Wheel of Fortune. The 6 of Pentacles is saying one of the other things that are being activated, and something to really keep in mind, is a key word for a gift that you have is always remember to approach life from a position of compassion and humility. Okay, that is key for you, is always be compassionate, because there's going to be situations where, people and situations trigger you, and it's hard to feel love and compassion, when we go through these things. But remember, compassion and understanding will always benefit you, to see things from that standpoint, from seeing things from another's standpoint. And also, like, what hit me too was, because you have so much experience in past lives, a sense of humility will always kind of, help you. And as you're doing this, this is what this is doing really is, the payoff is helping you head toward that sense of belonging. Okay. I just keep feeling like that's coming up. And that is just it. As I'm feeling this reading, it just feels so safe and so powerful, like someone who's just feels finally at home. And that's one of the benefits that you're getting from doing this. Now, you've got the Wheel of Fortune card upright, right? So this is a wonderful card to get. This is you have the opportunity right now in your life, all of you, to level up. Okay, even though each one of you watching this may be at different levels on your path, you all have the ability to level up, and I think you will. Keep in mind the things that are in this reading about releasing, about tapping into the good parts of your Pisces South Node or South Node in the 12th house. And this is a chance to really, really get ahead. Remember that as you're going through this, this is a series of different levels and events that are unfolding, right? And you get to one level and one event, and then there's a next. Okay, there might be a period of rest. Okay, but we're always working our way up. Sometimes we might backtrack a little bit, and that's okay. That's normal. But essentially, if we look at the graph of where we're headed, we're all headed on an upswing. But you North Nodes in Virgo and or the 6th house, really I see leveling up in a big way. Not only this month, but like throughout summer and the rest of the year. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this reading was helpful to you. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, Libra North Node or North Node in the 7th house. Okay, so the card that popped out for you is the Devil card reversed. Now, if you've watched my channel any length of time, you know I talk about the so-called scary cards, death, the devil, the Tower card. They're not cards to fear. They're just aspects of life that we need to transform. With the Devil card, what it means is it means deep-seated fears and anxieties, things that could be holding us back. That could be unconscious, in our lives. It can also mean like addicted ways of being. It's sometimes actual addiction where maybe within someone's life they're dealing with that. But a lot of times it's like addicted ways of being. And I think that a lot of you, what I'm feeling like for this reading is you've been going through a lot of transformation. Anybody that has their North Node in Libra and or Aries, either side of that, has been really transforming the last couple of years. And there's more work to be done, but I can see that there's been a lot of good work that has already occurred. Now, the interesting thing is when we're at the ending stage of something, like whether we're, getting healthy or we're purging things from our psychology, that last little bit of effort and purging can be very difficult, okay? And so it can seem like it sticks with us, okay? But I really feel like this is a transformational month, especially April, May, but for the first half of April. Let's get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline card. So you've got the Temperance card upright. You've got the High Priestess reversed, and you've got the Star card upright. So the Star card is a beautiful card to get, especially in the last part of a reading, because this is something very karmic for you, and that I feel like all of the good work that you've been doing, no matter where you're at, it doesn't mean your life's perfect right now. But I think that all of you, if you really look back the last 1.5 to 2 years, you can say that, okay, I've made progress in certain areas of my life. And that's what this is about. Our lives, unfortunately, are never going to be perfect, okay? It's an ongoing thing from the time we're born until the time we cross over, okay? This is an ongoing thing. But I think that all of you could agree that, you're making progress. And especially, the last 1.5 years, as I said. Now, what's going on here is with the Temperance card, this is a card of alchemy, particularly inner alchemy, with ways of thinking, ways of being, in our emotions. And as I said, this last little bit has to be transformed, and it can be very, very difficult to do that. It can be very difficult to take that last little bit of transformation and get to that next level. Now, the High Priestess, what this is saying here, the High Priestess reversed, is that one of the areas of life that really needs to really be transformed is going from the mindset of the physical world, like doing things and trying to accomplish things in a physical way, and working on doing things the non-physical way. So this is really kind of the key to this whole reading. What do I mean by that? Okay, we're looking at your South Node in Aries. We're looking at, or the first house, right? Your South Node. One of the things that has to transform for you in this lifetime is realizing that the universe works in 2 different ways. The universe works on the physical level, and it works on the non-physical level. Okay, what do I mean by that? So we know that if we take certain herbs and supplements and vitamins, we're going to get a physical benefit from taking that within our bodies, right? But we also know that there's something called the placebo effect, that there is a part of life that's very magical where, our thoughts and our feelings, our emotions, and can also play into the physical plane of existence. Okay. So that is what is wanting to transform, is to realize that, yes, it's important that we have physical bodies and we can accomplish things through hard work or our own will, Aries first house south node, right? But we can also accomplish things in the non-physical realm, which is with our emotions and our thoughts, okay, and ways of being, which I guess a way to describe it is, you try to describe to somebody, like, what is love, for example. It's nothing that it's tangible. Like, we know that love exists. Most of us have felt it at some point in our life, but you can't put it on a scale, or you can't put it under a microscope like something physical, right? And so this is a very important part of life, that when you master this part, the non-physical ways of being, is where you're really leveling up. And that's kind of like the last little bit that is transforming for a lot of you. Now let's look at your advice card. So you've got the Page of Swords upright, and you've got the Ace of Wands reversed. Okay, so the Ace of Wands, wands rule all of the fire signs, among them Aries, and also the first house. And, this is about our physical energy, what we're putting out into the world. It rules our solar plexus area, everything that Aries, has to work with in this world. Okay, Mars, the planet Mars, and how we present ourselves on the physical plane. But it's reversed here, and that's why I say that this is a real game changer, and the last bit of this inner alchemy that wants to happen for you. Now, what wants to happen? Okay, first and foremost, the Page of Swords is talking about messages that we're getting from outside of us, paying attention to messages that we're getting. And so the first half of April, what's really important is to begin this work of dealing with things on the non-physical level, is picking up on things outside of yourself through what we would call the skills of the high priestess, your intuition, your instincts, something that is, messages that can be coming from the feelings or vibe of another person or people, or, as I said, just tapping into that intuition, the non-physical. Because, as I said, what we can do a lot of times with this North Node is we can get used to just being in the world where I do this and I get a result. I, am working on the physical in this world, and I'm changing my life. But what you're learning is you can change your life by adding in that non-physical. Okay, so pay attention to things that come through. So if you have an intuition that comes in, or you're getting a certain, like, vibe that you don't, it's nothing physical that's coming in, but you're getting a vibe in a certain situation or with a person, follow those feelings and, like, investigate it. Okay, now the reason that the Devil came up reversed is because this could be one of the most scary areas of being in Aries south node, like you have. Okay, so the Libra north node, Libra in the 7th house north node, can also feel this fear and anxiety, because it's like you're relying on something that doesn't seem like it exists, right? Because it's nothing that you built or you can put your hands on, or something in the physical realm. And so it's like, it can seem like this area of life is something that is very, very scary to do. And it's about kind of trusting. And the reason that this Devil came up also reversed is that this is that deep-seated kind of obsession, and also an addiction to the physical realm. And it's not that you will ever lose your gifts that you have in working in the physical realm, but it's about adding in this other aspect of life. So remember that, the world is physical, but it's also non-physical. And when you add that in there, it's really a game changer and you're going to level up. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you would like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Scorpio and or the 8th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the 8 of Wands upright. And I feel like what's going on for you the first half of April here is that a lot of you are taking this new direction and you're moving forward in it like very, very boldly. This has to do with a lot of I feel like for a lot of you, there's this renewed um, self-esteem that's like coming in. And that could be something when you see this, north and south node, it can be something that people struggle with, and there's this new self-esteem where you feel like you're tapping into parts of yourself that you didn't know existed. Like I feel like there's a situation that was keeping you stuck over a period of time, like the last like maybe year to several months, that was keeping you stuck, and it's becoming like better and getting solved. And the result of that is like this increase of knowing who you are at a core level. Also like a higher self-esteem. That's what I'm feeling like. And you're riding that whole wave. The interesting thing is that a lot of this is coming from healing your south node in Taurus and or the second house. So we'll look at your timeline cards and get some more clarity on this. So you've got the High Priestess reversed. You've got the Four of Swords reversed. And you've got the King of Pentacles upright. So we'll take these two cards first. We'll take the King of Pentacles and we'll take the High Priestess. The King of Pentacles is not talking about an actual person in your life, other than the energy of your South Node in Taurus and or the second house. And what you're doing is your South Node for you, North Nodes in Scorpio and or the 8th house, your South Node in Taurus or the second house is helping you grow into your North Node. And it's interesting because I'm seeing this type of an energy for a lot of the North Nodes lately, where the good parts of your South Node are helping you. So what parts are helping you? Well, most of you that have this North Node have the ability to be strong and steadfast. You have the ability to push forward into things and be a point of stability, not only in your life, but for those around you. But as I said, it's like this bull like charging forward. And that energy is helping you in this transformational process. The transformational process is shown here, okay? The High Priestess is about your North Node in Scorpio or the 8th house. It's helping you to transform yourself inside. Like it's like this inside out energy, from the inside, and then you're seeing this outward kind of thing. And I don't feel like it's done yet. Like this, you're in the process of doing this. But what it's doing is you can start to feel, a lot of you are starting to feel like just a little bit less stuck. You're getting unstuck and you're kind of, being free. It's this period of inactivity that I'm kind of feeling, which is this Four of Swords, like almost like you're at the standstill at points in your life, and you can see parts of your life starting to move forward, parts that seem like you didn't know which direction to take, and you can see them moving forward. But it's that Taurus energy that you have in your south node, or that second house energy, that's helping give the energy into this transformation. Because always remember, our south node can be a helper to us. It always is. It just has to be used at the right time and in the proper measure. Now let's look at your advice card. So you've got the Nine of Wands upright, and you've got the Ace of Swords. Here's what I'm saying about the proper use of your south node. Okay, so the Ace of Swords this is about, when do we pick up our sword? When do we take action? When do we make a stand? When do we mentally stay strong? When is there a time to pick up our sword? When is there a time to lay it down? And this strength, this inner strength that's coming from your south node, is helping propel you. Now, what it's doing is you're learning from your past, and that's what this Nine of Wands is saying. That what's happening is you've learned that all of the ways of being and thinking, maybe not realizing that, or feeling like you were good enough, or that you had what it takes to do whatever. You're realizing that that's an untrue myth. That is something that, for whatever reason, attached itself to you. And you're realizing that in the past, all of those things, it's like you're having these replays in your mind, like, okay, well, I felt that way 10 years ago or 8 years ago, and that doesn't make sense. That's not truth. And so it's like you're replaying things from the past as you're learning from them, and realizing that a lot of the beliefs that you had about yourself and your life weren't true. They were these untrue myths. And so this is like basically this myth busting. But what's propelling all of this, as I said, is the strength of your south node. Now, you're in the process continuing to transform. You're transforming into, I would say, like a deeper person, a person that has more depth to them. And that is something that takes not only energy, but it takes courage, because you're looking at your life in a little bit more of a complex way. And it's giving you the ability to go back and look at your past and analyze it, and realize, not only learn from it, but learn that some of these things that you went through, that you put a label on, weren't true. And that's very powerful. And so it's like this, almost like the energy, if I had to sum up this first half of April, it's this like circulating energy, like a battery of energy. Like your south node is feeding into your north node, and then your north node, as you transform, is feeding into your south node. So it's this kind of battery energy. But yeah, very, very, very powerful. But just remember, one of the things that I'm here to tell you is, you north nodes in Scorpio and or the 8th house, you have something very, very valuable inside, and you are worthy of all of the good things in life, okay? You are worthy for all of the happiness, all of the love, all of the good things. All you have to worry about now is just continue on that path, and just keep transforming. But just remember, you are worthy, and every good thing in life is supposed to come to you. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Sagittarius and or the 9th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Chariot card upright. And when I saw this card, what I was thinking for the first half of April for you North Nodes in Sag or the 9th house is, what stood out to me were the black and white Sphinx, which is relating to polarity. But remember, the Sphinx both sphinxes are relating to the how opposites, okay, polarities. But the chariot is a card of movement. Sometimes, you know, the chariot goes forward, sometimes it goes backwards, sometimes it goes all over the place. But I see forward movement for you. And the reason for that is, the reason that the black and white sphinx um, kind of stood out to me is that one of the gifts that you're bringing from your past lives and your past in Gemini, because you have a Gemini or third house, south node, is the gift of comparison. What I mean by that is that when we have a lot of experiences in our life, okay, multiple, more than two, or we're exposed to different belief systems, we're exposed to different ways of thinking, we're exposed to different situations and experiences. What can happen is it gives us a lot of natural wisdom. Okay, the reason for that is because as we're exposed to these different things, as opposed to just being exposed to one thing, we can choose and we can see what makes sense, what doesn't. We get this comparison, right? And what's happening right now is that there's this gathering in your life, and a lot of you, if you really think about it, it could be very subtle, where you're taking a lot of these experiences that you've had through your life, and you're able to put them all together and see, like, this works, that doesn't work, this is a good direction. And it gives you, when you have all of these things put together, you can see a way forward, like a one way forward type of a thing, because you know which ways not to go. I think a lot of you have struggled in like the last couple of years with like not being able to decide. Is almost like one of the things you see with this north node is too many irons in the fire, or too many things, like you're too spread out, your ways of thinking, you're interested in this, you're interested in that, and all of that, but it's all kind of coming together because it's like you've gone down these certain roads um, mentally and emotionally, and you're making sense of them all. Now, how you're making sense of it is something that's interesting. We'll get into it right now. So your timeline cards, you've got the Knight of Pentacles upright, you've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed, and you've got the Five of Cups upright. So what's happening now? We'll start with the Knight. Is the Knight of Pentacles is just like all the knights. It's a card of movement. Anytime you see a card with a horse on it, it's a card of movement. But the slowest of all the knights is the Knight of Pentacles. But particularly what this is meaning for your life is you're getting to this stable point in your life where you're realizing that, okay, I can move forward, but you're moving forward instead of in a chaotic way, in a more kind of methodical way, just like that slow Knight of Pentacles. It's a stable way of moving. So it's not that you're stuck, it's just that you're moving, forward in a stable way. And the reason you're able to do that, as I said, that has to do with the white and the black sphinx, of realizing all of the things that have happened in your past are giving you knowledge, and you're able to turn that knowledge into wisdom. Now, what is your knowledge and wisdom? How is this happening? Well, you're looking at, for example, different things in your life. You're looking at times when you've gone through things emotionally, and you are making sense of everything that you've gone through emotionally. You're realizing, okay, I've gone through all of these things, and I'm able to organize it and say, like, okay, I got through that, I made it through there, but this part didn't work and this part did. You're also looking at times in your life, with this reversed Wheel of Fortune, where maybe, things weren't working out great. You went through these times in your life. And basically what I'm saying is, the times in our life that are the most, like, have the most struggles, we can learn the most. And so this is giving you this knowledge, this inner knowledge, and that's Gemini, right? Which is basic, like raw knowledge, right? But what you're doing is now you're able to turn it into wisdom. And that's why studying, for example, we look at, Sagittarius in the ninth house, which is finding your truth and finding the way forward, and why it rules, higher education. Because, there's such a thing as just raw knowledge, which is your South Node Gemini or the third house. And then when you have enough of that raw knowledge, you put it together, and that's wisdom. And that's what's really happening for a lot of you right now, where it's helping you understand your way forward, which way to go, which way not to go. Okay. And so there's this organizing of chaos for a lot of you, and you want to continue to kind of do that. And you're going to be replaying these things from your past. And as you're doing that, even if things that you're replaying are somewhat painful, see what it is you can learn from them. There's some learning in there. And when you do that, you're just, feeding in that healing energy to heal your past, okay? But there's a lot of wisdom in that knowledge of your past. Now let's look at your advice cards. You've got the Three of Swords reversed, and you've got the High Priestess. So, the Three of Swords reversed is a positive card. This is that healing I'm talking about, emotionally, that's happened. As you're learning from your life, past and present, that's healing. It heals your past and heals your present, because you're able to make sense of why certain things happen. And this organizing, I just feel this word organizing keeps coming in. You're organizing everything from your past. It's like being cataloged, and you're able to make sense of it in order to move forward. But as I said, the effect is very healing. Now with this High Priestess, this is what's really interesting. The thing that people don't know a lot about Sagittarius Gemini energy, whether you're, Sagittarius North Node, or you're a Gemini North Node, or ninth house, third house, is you are very intuitive. And where does intuition come from? It's not anything that is like this thing where it's, something like magic that just drops from the sky, but it comes from the knowledge of tapping into something inside you. But particularly when we have a lot of experiences, when we have a ton of experiences in our life, it gives us a natural intuition, a natural instinct. And that's one of the things that's really helping you right now. And one of the things you want to do is keep trying to tap into that intuitive side. But the most important thing is trust it. Trust the information that's coming in intuitively, because the one caution about this reading is that there's always going to be this struggle when you have a North Node in Sagittarius or the ninth house, where that Gemini third house, the mind can overpower the intuition. Like when an intuition comes in, there could be this tendency to be like, well, I don't know if I can trust that. I can't put it down on paper. It doesn't really make sense. And so the big part of this intuitive, guidance that's coming in is you have to learn how to trust it. And when you do that, that is going to just continue on this whole path of healing for you, and refining to be the best version of yourself that you can be. But yeah, very, very powerful time for you North Nodes in Sagittarius of the ninth house. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Capricorn and or the 10th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the King of Swords. And when I saw this card, what I was feeling for you is that the first half of April, there's something that's going to happen for you North Nodes in Capricorn and or the 10th house, where there's going to be this tapping into the gifts of like logic and the mind, while like suppressing some of the emotional side of your life. Now remember, with you north nodes in Capricorn and or the 10th house, you will always have the gifts of emotional intelligence. Okay, that is a given. You'll always have that ability to have a strong emotional imprint. Okay, but what's coming out now for a lot of you is you're learning that there's a power in being able to shut that side of your life off slightly and allow, logic to come in. Now, sometimes, there are people that have certain north nodes where they actually have to do the opposite of that. They have to really calm down the mind in order to like turn up the volume on their emotional side. But what you're learning is that when you can do that, you can turn this on and off. Like for example, like something happens in your life, okay, and you have a reaction to it, okay. So this could be something at work or with a family member or in a romantic relationship, whatever it is. Now, you, like all of us, we react to things on a mental and emotional level. Now, with you having your south node in Cancer and or the fourth house, you have a strong emotional reaction to it, and that's fine. But what you're learning is that you don't always have to follow through with the reaction. So something happens and you have this reaction to it, but you pause and you say, wait a minute, okay, I'm feeling this, but let me like really like think about it too. Like let me analyze it from a non-emotional standpoint. Let me like think about it for a moment and just turn down the volume on those emotions. Not shut them out. Okay, they've come up and now you've said, okay, I feel that. But now bring up the volume of like thinking about this, like saying, you know, and now, how can this play out? Okay, all of us have experienced this. Anybody, who is not only watching this video, but all of us, whatever north node we have, where we've felt something and had a strong reaction to it, but then found out we were wrong about it. That's what I'm talking about. So it's not denying our feelings, but it's analyzing them, right? Everybody has had I don't know one person who I've ever talked to that hasn't had multiple times when they even thought something or felt something and have been wrong about it, right? So what you're doing is when you have a reaction, both emotionally and mentally, you're able to just pause for a minute and making sure that you are looking at it correctly. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to always, even after all of that, make the right choice, but that's what's coming up. So I think that there are going to be some situations in your life the first half of April where you're going to want to pause your emotional reaction and just look at it from different angles, look at it like logically, use your head, and you're going to find that you're going to be glad you did. I guarantee you that this first half of April, when you do that, you're going to find yourself that maybe your initial emotional reaction might have been like mistaken, right? Now, how is this going to play out? Well, okay, so you've got the Nine of Swords reversed. You've got the Ace of Wands reversed, and you've got the Moon card reversed. The Nine of Swords is saying that one of the reasons that this is important for you is that a lot of times with this North Node, our emotional reactions can cause us fears and anxieties. So when something comes up, and we're going to take the example of like all of us where we've been wrong about something that's happened, right? So we've been wrong about something and we have this emotional reaction, but then we start stewing on it, okay? And to us, it feels like we're right. It feels like this is true, and we're stewing on it, and our mind and our emotions are going back and forth. And that can cause like, hours or days of worry, like we don't sleep well, and like I said, anxiety and worry and all of that. When you're able to balance the emotional side and the mental side of life and take your time in making sure before you actually invest completely 100% emotionally into something that happened, you're going to find that there's going to be a lot less anxiety. And, as I said, part of the reason that's important is because a lot of times when we have our initial reactions, both emotionally and mentally, are wrong. Now, what is going to happen is, I think that there's going to be two things that are going to happen. There's going to be a situation that has to do with something that it could be, an anger flare up, okay, because we have the reversed Ace of Wands. It could be something of a physical nature where you're going to have a physical reaction to something, a physical and emotional reaction to something. And what's going to happen is the Moon card reversed is there's something that you're not seeing in this situation. Okay, so when this flare up happens, and I think for most of you, it could happen multiple times the first half of April, because a lot of times when we're working on things on our soul path, they kind of repeat themselves, okay, as so we can learn from them. But I think that this is initially going to hit you like in a very visceral way. That's what the wands are saying. So emotionally and also from your kind of like gut, okay? But what you want to do is you want to explore further, because there's something about the situation that you don't like know about. Um, One example, this just popped into my head. Maybe this will kind of, help you more. There is this video that's kind of floating around. Maybe some of you thought about it. And there's a guy, a young, good-looking guy who is at the beach, and he's shirtless, and he's sitting there, and he is eating an ice cream cone, and another guy is watching him, and he thinks that this guy is staring at him, sensually licking the ice cream cone. And he gets angry at the guy who's like eating his ice cream cone, and he approaches him, and he realizes part of the video is that the guy is blind. The guy who pulls out his like walking stick, and the blind man was just staring off in a direction, who didn't know who he was staring at, but this guy had this reaction. So he had this visceral reaction to something, and then you could tell that afterwards in the video, he felt like really bad that he had that, right? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is we don't have to act on something right away, okay? It's okay to feel something, that's fine, but we have to like investigate that more. And so I think that whatever's going to happen is you have to investigate it, because there's something that you're not seeing in the situation. Now, your advice cards here, you've got the Nine of Pentacles reversed, and you've got the Eight of Swords. What this is saying is that this is freeing you up. This Eight of Swords is saying that when you learn this skill of being able to take the time to not just trust one aspect of either your mind or your emotions, it's going to free you up in a lot of ways. And what you're going to see is that you're going to see ways where it might have hindered you when you had these reactions emotionally. It's okay to have them, as I said, but you're going to find the value in and how it's going to free you up, because you're going to find that you are not making or causing yourself a lot of needless anxiety, or kind of making assumptions that end up being kind of wrong. And then with this Nine of Pentacles reversed is saying that a lot of the anxiety that you're feeling, how it plays out, when we have this trigger emotion, that where we're very triggered, in a quick way, it hinders our enjoyment of life. Okay, and that's ultimately what you're doing. Is by doing this, you're freeing yourself up. And the Nine of Pentacles is saying that it's going to free up this energy that you can use in a positive way. The Nine of Pentacles is about, not only enjoyment of life, but using your energy for positive means, whether that be, starting a business, or, hobbies or interests, or investing it back into your life and your, relationships. Because anxiety, emotional and mental anxiety takes up a lot of energy. So what's happening is this is freeing up energy in your life, and that energy can be reinvested into positive things. So that's the end result of doing this. So you're getting something very, very valuable for kind of, going through this whole thing. But just remember, the key for you is when you feel something at a gut level or an emotional level, just look deeper, investigate it before you go all in. That's all this is saying. And I think this first half of April, there's going to be some opportunities to do that. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the Four of Swords. And what came into my mind when I saw this for you, North Nodes in Aquarius and or the 11th house, is the phrase peace of mind. It's really like what a lot of you are working towards, even if you don't have complete peace of mind right now. It's one of the things it's like being settled, peace of mind. There's a value in that. And I think a lot of you are working toward that now in your life. Your different parts of your life, you're kind of realizing, even if they're not perfect, I can have a peace of mind because we're making improvements. You know what I mean? Like even with the various parts of our lives that are imperfect, we could see that there's progress being made. Now let's get some more information here from your timeline card. So you've got the Lover's card upright, you've got the 10 of Pentacles, and you've got the 5 of Cups. Now, this is interesting because one of the things that you're having this epiphany of, like working toward peace of mind, is realizing that, we'll take these two cards here, that, our lives are filled with, ups and downs. There's times when we win, there's times when we have challenges, and in, personal relationships, in our like love relationships, with family, with money, all of that, okay, that it's part of life. And that within that, I feel like a lot of you are like rising above all of it and realizing that, okay, I can't get hung up on one aspect. If you're going through a period of time where there's a challenge in the relationships, okay, it's nothing that before it seems like a lot of you might have gotten really hung up on it, like gotten to be obsessed over something like, why is this happening, or why did this happen? And I feel like where a lot of you are going with it is you're gaining peace of mind. Peace of mind doesn't mean that you are always peaceful of mind. It means that you make peace with life. Eckhart Tolle really has touched on this a lot, where we accept everything as it comes. It doesn't mean we don't try to change it, but we accept that there are times in our life when we have ups and we have downs, but we don't we don't get stuck in one energy. We don't get stuck in the up energy or the down energy, but we flow with it. And when we flow with something, it doesn't mean that we're peaceful of mind 24/7. It means that we have the peace of mind that, okay, it's like part of life. Now, the 5 of Cups is interesting because one of the things that you're learning that's, huge for you is on the emotional level, okay? The 5 of Cups, even though it's a card of, an emotional downturn, it's also a card of optimism because of the 3 cups being spilled. There's 2 behind them with a road to a better day behind this person. And so always one of the things that you realize is that if you look back and you are reflecting on things that have happened to you, that were difficult, you got through it, emotionally, you got through it. And that's how you can have peace of mind. We all can have peace of mind, that realizing no matter what happens, we will get through it, and we'll transform. We accept it. We do what we can to make the best of it, and make changes where we can, where we're able. But we always realize in the end that we have peace of mind, that it will always work itself out some way or another, and it's just part of like life. And there's a huge peace of mind to that, when we're not, essentially what this is saying is, we're not fighting against life itself, because it's ridiculous. Years ago, there was a friend of mine that named his band. This was in the late 90s and early 2000s. And the name of the band, which they never got super famous, but the name of the band was Mad at Gravity. It was really funny, because it was like, how ridiculous. It's like, I'm mad at the wind or the storm, right? So being mad at gravity is some sort of ridiculous commentary on life, is that when we're mad at something that is a force that just is just a complete waste of time and energy. And so when we don't do that, we can have the peace of mind that, we have an acceptance that life is full of these ups and downs. And this is huge for you North Nodes in Aquarius and or the 11th house, because it's adding to this knowledge base that you're gaining, and that you're moving toward this. Essentially, one of the key words is detachment. Learning that yes, you are an emotional being, you're a passionate being, you have all that, but you also have the ability to detach from something and just say, okay, that's life. What can I do to solve this? And you just, there's this emotional detachment, which is very powerful for you. Now, your advice cards are, you've got the Six of Pentacles reversed, and you've got the Ace of Swords upright. The Six of Pentacles is something that's really interesting, because this is saying that one of the things that's happening this first half of April for you, and it's something to always keep in mind, is making sure that as you're going through life, that you are always thinking about others. Like, one of the gifts that you have, in this lifetime with your South Node in Leo or the fifth house, is you have the ability to have, most of you have like, a decent amount of self-esteem, a decent amount of being able to take care of yourself and like knowing your needs. But one of the things that always wants to come in as you're going through life is, what is your effect on those around you? Okay. And, this card denotes like, a charity or giving it to others, but, it's not like necessarily just like physically giving. We give of our time, we give of our emotions, but this is necessarily thinking about other people and those around us in situations. Because when you do that, that's kind of the game changer in all of this. It's like the key that kind of unlocks all of this, that you're taking into consideration not only like your life and your wants and needs and desires, but also kind of taking consideration, well, how is this going to affect other people? How is this going to affect the world? Okay. Now, I think I've shared this before, but my North Node is in the 11th house. So this reading is for me. Okay. I've got my North Node in Cancer in the 11th house. So this is something that I always try to keep in mind, myself, is that always I try to think about, okay, like, I'm passionate about this. I have feelings and thoughts about this, but how is this going to affect others? So that's something to just keep in mind. And then with this Ace of Swords, this was that kind of emotional detachment that I was talking about, which is really going to help you. Like looking at your life when things happen, and to be able to take this sword of the intellect, sword of communication, and be able to separate and detach from something emotionally in order so you can get a clear view of it. Because, I think we all know, when we're really wrapped up in something emotionally, we really don't see things clearly. And so there's a value in detaching from it, but especially from not only detaching from things in our life, but things that have happened in the past. And that's kind of what you're doing. This emotional detachment is allowing you to have peace of mind, because it's a peace of mind through acceptance that life is what it is and we change what we can. And when we do that, it just gives us a better opportunity to live kind of more in alignment with the ebbs and flows of the way life works. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Pisces and or the 12th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the Hierophant reversed. Now, this card can talk about traditions. It also can talk about higher education. It can talk about belief systems. And I think that what I'm feeling like when I saw this card is I was thinking belief systems is what really kind of stood out to me. And I think that a lot of you like North Nodes in Pisces, because this is your time right now. The collective North Node is in Pisces, that you're doing a lot of like thinking and adjusting on internal belief systems that you have about your own life, your present situation, your past, and your way forward. It's like there's this thing that's happening this first half of April, and it's going to continue on this whole like next year and a half, is just rethinking and reevaluating belief systems that you have, maybe about yourself, as I said, or those around you. There's this rethinking, and it's going to end up very positively. But when we're doing this, it can be uncomfortable because we sometimes realize things in our life that we might have believed before, and we thought that were true, and then they end up not being true. So it's a very difficult kind of process. But the value in it is ultimately what we're doing is refining the understanding of our life, refining who we are, type of a thing. Now let's look at your timeline cards to get some more clarity. So you've got the Tower card reversed, you've got the Judgment card upright, and you've got the King of Wands reversed. The Tower card reversed and the Judgment card is, I think that, there's some sort of an awakening that's happening, and I think it's like some sort of an epiphany, where a lot of you have already been going through this, but I think the first half of April you're going to have these realizations. That's what the Tower reverse could be. It could be like kind of like a minor little upheaval, or this epiphany, like this like lightning that all of a sudden something occurs to you, and it's because the universe is trying to communicate to you. Now remember, one of the things that Pisces North Node or 12th house North Node rules is the unseen realm, the world on the non-physical level, the spiritual side of life, things that are metaphysical as opposed to the physical. And part of that is tapping into your psychic abilities, your intuition, also hearing communication from the universe, because the universe and our guides are always trying to help us in any way that they can by giving us information. But most of the time, we as humans, we don't really get it, but one of the gifts that you have is that you do have the ability to really tap into that. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of information and awakening and epiphany that comes in that's helping you, but what it's doing is changing belief systems you have. In particular, I think it has to do with all this new information that's coming in is helping to change your personal energy field. Okay, so let's kind of get some more clarity. We'll dive into this a little deeper with this King of Wands card reversed. So one of the things that could be happening with you Pisces or 12th house North Nodes is when you go through things and you're going through these transitions, it could feel like an energy drop out of your life, like energy, not only physical energy, but emotional energy, mental energy, but particularly like kind of that creative spark, that there could be this kind of drop in that. And one of the things that you're realizing as you're replaying things that have, happened in your past, and you're having these like epiphanies of changing your belief systems, the belief systems of things that you thought were true are, when you find out what's really happening, it's going to create this like energy influx. So if you've been feeling like, let's say, the past however many months, even longer than that possibly, where like the energy level is down, it's because this whole, you're getting ready for, this influx of all of these epiphanies that are going to start occurring to you and changing belief systems. Now remember, one of the things that's fueling this is, remember, the ruling planet, one of the ruling planets for Pisces is Neptune, right? And Neptune is now entering the sign of Aries for the first time in over 150 years, right? So that's energizing your North Node with this Aries energy. And so that's part of the reason why this is happening. And so this is why you're going to be feeling this influx of energy. And the reason why you might have felt that lack before is because it was draining on you, not understanding why certain things have taken place. And as I said, these belief systems that you could have had could be kind of, it was bringing you down in a way. But these systems are changing, and new beliefs are forming. And what's going to happen is you're going to see this influx of energy and creativity. Now, what's backing this up is your advice cards. You've got the Queen of Swords upright, and you've got the Eight of Wands upright. So this is the energy I was talking about, is all systems go. We've got 8 wands here flying forward, going in a new positive direction, okay? So there's this influx of energy. But what's important is the energy has to be channeled. Okay, that is critical. Whenever I see in a reading that, whether it's a client or one of the North Nodes, when they're getting an influx of energy, it has to be used in a positive direction. And that's what the Queen of Swords is saying, is that, this is an intelligent use of the energy that's there. Like, think about, because it's one thing to be inspired, but when we're inspired and the energy is all over the place and it's not focused, and that's what the Queen of Swords is saying. It's like, take that energy and now focus in on it, and where do you want to direct it? So this is all stemming from old belief systems and old patterns, old traditional patterns that are passing away. And what's going to happen is you're going to be going in these new directions energetically, but you need to use them in positive directions. So now the question is, for each of you, where is it you want to use your energy? Where is it you want to devote your time, to? Just start thinking of doing that, and start adding it into something that you want to create. This is your time to shine. And remember, always follow your intuitive guidance, but that guidance has to be directed in a certain way, and flow in a certain way for it to be beneficial to you, okay? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd like your chart analyzed, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. See you on some more videos. Many blessings.